Very happy to be able to do a video for you to show you how to handle a small studio and some of the things that blah 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 yada yada yada. Here goes. So we've got this background in here. We really obviously don't want that. First of all, I'm going to press J and get my healing tool and get rid of some of these big things. I can get rid of them later, but if you do it now, it'll make things slightly easier. And here goes healing brush fail right there. Healing brush fail, healing brush fail. It's good enough for now because what we're about to do is totally different. So I want the background to be very white like this. So first thing, Command J or Control J if you're on a PC, create a new layer. Then hit W. W is this brush. It's usually your magic wand, but ever since I found out how to properly use this quick selection tool, I haven't used the magic wand tool at all. And as a matter of fact, when I can tell you use the magic wand tool, it's a sign of amateur. So let's go ahead and select this quick selection tool. Unlike most of the tools, this you draw on the inside of what you want to keep. I want to keep the model, and see I'm on her foot, and as I click and I drag, it selects her foot. Everything else selects the outside. Magic brush, if you click here, it'll select this entire big area. We're actually selecting the model in this scenario. And as you drag, it really does its own choosing. Let's make sure to include her arm, and there you see it got the arm, and this hand here got the hand, and as you see this whole shoulder and left side of her, and okay, there's a little strip right there left. Yeah, there is. Oh, so okay, now you see the entire model is selected. You notice that it is cut out here, and that is important. Do cut out the large things. Her earrings are not selected. I was just about to not notice that. So select them earrings. And this is a casual selection. I'm going to make sure that her earrings really are okay. And then right here, if you see, it's not properly selected. There you go. So it's kind of rough. You see a little imperfection here and there, and even here. And then her hair, of course, and you want to select hair. Does it select the curls and such? Let's just go ahead and try to select them a little bit more. So there you go. You use the quick selection tool to select your model. Now up the top it says refine edge. Click that. This is really important. Now you can see what has been cut out, and it's decent enough. If you're used to using the magic wand tool, you'll look at this and say, very good, very decent. Now click smart radius. You do that, you don't see much of a difference, but you shall. Take the radius, put that radius up, and you'll see it. There you go. Now you see her finger, and her dress right here is definitely, let's see if Control Z works. It does. See this over here, this over here, this. So once you push up that radius, you can push it all the way up to 100. I haven't found anything negative about doing that quite yet. And now it's really chosen her hair. Now, smart radius, put up the radius as, I guess, as high as you want. Now, use the square right bracket to make this little thing, which is here, this little brush, big, and then draw around the spots. And this says there is detail within this brush stroke that I care about, and I want you to try a little better to make that selection. And now you see what we've got here. If the hand or the dress or somewhere, like right here, maybe the finger. Oh, she's got a ring on, and that's why it keeps clipping in like that. suffice it to say, we've got what we need. Say OK. Give it a moment to percolate on the idea, the philosophical frickin'. Now, you can choose W, click on Alt, and when you paint, it will remove the selection as opposed to add it. At this point, when you've got your good selection, go ahead and do Control C. Just copy, right? And instead of paste, press Control or Command J to make a new layer. Now you have a layer with that person. So let's do it like this. That's what we have. And it is not perfect. And that's part of the game. Whatever. Now select the layer below what you've copied. And if I can just be a complete prick for a moment and show you with a small brush that you won't make a difference to her now. You see this? You can paint that purple green. Purple? You can paint that background purple or green or whatever. And if you take off the copied version, you see this right now? So what we really want to do is not draw stupid squiggles. You take B for brush, and instead of just going with black and white, which is what they have here, which is really the most logical, the fact is that you probably don't have actual white. So press Alt and you get a dropper, and then click on the picture. Now this brush is this color. You see how it doesn't make a difference because it's the same color, but over here it removes that line. Now you see how over here the gradient changed? Fact is, I'm going to get rid of all of that. I'm going to make my brush as big as possible by using the right square. And then, what's happening here? Oh, I completely frigged up. I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, layer versus copy. Gotta be on the layer below what you copied. Now, when I do that, see the line over here has disappeared? And then push over into the corners. Yes, push into the corner. Push down a little bit, and it's really big so you can utilize the feather on it. My computer's acting kind of slow. I have Premiere open, you know. I've got I've got Premiere editing, and I've got InDesign open. I've got shitloads of tabs in Chrome, so the machine's not acting as fast as it could. That was pointless, me showing you all that. My apologies. There we go. So, back in here with the brush. And I'm staying over so I leave a little bit of that gradient because that is giving us the depth. And I mean, at this point, you get rid of that one line, but leave a little bit of that gradient if possible. I'm going to press Alt and grab a different white, which is right here, and get rid of what I'm seeing. Just get rid of what you're seeing and use the feather to make it seamless. Right over here, I'm pressing Alt and I'm grabbing what I believe to be the appropriate white. And now, yeah. Now I'm getting rid of that line. The line is gone. I didn't make this pure white. Now I'm seeing this is looking so horrible that I might just go ahead and knock it out a little. There you go. So now, although it's not a perfect photo, I still need to get rid of some of these things here. It looks like it's in a proper studio, but maybe your selection wasn't great. At this point, what you want to do is on the Mac. Okay, two different things. It's Shift, Control, and E. And if you do that, it flattens everything into one photo, and then I will do another layer and begin to move from there. Conversely, and it's very good to know both of these techniques, you can press Shift, Control or Command and Alt and E, four-finger thing, and now you've stamped what was visible, and you can drag that layer to the top, right there. And the great thing about this is that we can use the history tool. Let's hope we can. There, you notice how we're putting back some of her hair right there? Just a little bit of history. You sometimes need it, you sometimes don't. That ring that was bothering me earlier. This hand, just to make sure, you see it's got a little bit more definition. Right down here, making sure that the history brush is on. It's pulling back a few of the details we might have lost due to an imperfect selection. This is a lot quicker than creating a perfect selection. Make sure those earrings are in. Make sure them earrings are in. Right there. Now the only thing you're losing out of this is the depth based on something that is obviously a background. But for the most part, it's not what we're looking for, is it? We're looking for a subject that is separated from the background. Careful not to use that brush, as you see over here, missing a bit of the shadow. That's okay, but keep that shadow, because that shadow gives you that bit of depth, that she's not floating in a matrix-like sterile white room, but she is actually in a studio. And that's why I wouldn't want to clean all this up, but just enough. Make it look like you give a goddamn about your photography, and you know you have a shitty studio, but you make that thing look like Rolling Stone would be okay with it. All these lines, these dots. I don't want it to be perfect, but I don't want it to look like a shitty studio. So leave some of the texture, but creases and obvious tears, like this dirt within here, that's good. This right here, that's kind of good. It makes it imperfect, but it maintains that depth. Another thing you could do for depth, which obviously we don't want to do here, is add a plant or some of the objects as your midground, or something obvious in the background. If this was a white wall, maybe a piece of the window, something to say that, you know. But we're not always looking for that. So whatever, this works. Well, there you go. If you look at it, there's what we had in the beginning, and we selected her and we copied her onto a new layer. Then we went on to the old layer and we manipulated it, and you can make that purple or whatever you want, really. If you could put some texture down here on that purple and then change it, would be so great. But I mean, using the brush, simple but effective. I know I'm babbling on a little too much here, but you get the point. That's how you do it. It can be done. As a matter of fact, sometimes I do a lot of photos like this, knowing when to get a couple of good ones and practice this style. So we're here. We're pretty much finished. The whole selecting her and then brushing it aside is great. But let me show you another trick that has helped me out. This is the Tyro Tan upgrade column, let's call that. So you go to the square select. If you hold down, sorry, I've got to do something right quick because I'm recording and the thing's in the way. So you hold down and you see a single column marquee tool. Select that, you get this line. Make sure that the line majority is completely clear. Press Control T for transform. Grab this little box in the middle and you grab it. Oh, yeah, there you go. Now you've got this 1 pixel stretched. Now you see how it stretched the that's why you want it to be on a clear space, but that doesn't matter. We're going to fix it later. Press Enter to say yes, I want that. Then go to the horizontal marquee and again pick low enough, like that ish, like this. Let me see, can I pick right below here? Right below here, just like that. Maybe a little higher, like that. Control T or Command T to transform. Grab that middle square, pull it on up. Now you've got the same kind of thing happening. You maintained the shadows and stuff that might possibly give it depth. Press Enter to apply. At this point, you want to Control J. Before you Control J, remember to unselect, otherwise it will take the selection. So for that, I'm going to just use this and just click on it. There you go. Control J. Now go to Filter. Don't ever use blur on skin. That's gay. That's like shagging a male donkey in the ass. It's just way too gay. So say OK, and then Alt and click this little masking button. Now it hides the effect, and you can see why we need it. See those horizontal lines, the vertical lines that come from stretching a single pixel like that. Now I'm going to go to brush. My brush is on white, and that means when I'm going to puncture through the mask, as you already know, and see over here, you got to be delicate with this too, because the Gaussian blur is real powerful, and you see it does affect her hair a little. Get the sides. I try to touch that little, that little thing right there, and don't go too far in, because there's no detailing what you've Gaussian blurred, and there's ways around that, but we're looking at just freaking getting it done. At this point, you would change the color and paint her hair back in such a manner that you catch her hair and what is caught back, the line that returned. Now you small up your brush, grab just that. See a little flare thing that happened? Pay attention if you see that elsewhere. Shitty photo job. And I don't even like, that's why I like to select and do it the other way, because this way means the cleanup job is taking a little while, but whatever. I'm going to do Shift, Apple or Control and E to flatten everything, and use J for my healing brush and attempt to do the rest of it that way, which will work. But the previous technique is a lot better because there's not much cleanup afterwards, and the advantage of doing it this way is so that you can maintain the shadows on the background that create depth. Sometimes you don't need depth, and I make everything up top white, and then I'll do a wash of gray down here and make sure to put that back, that shadow, and then you're good. And you can see how when the healing tool fails you, that it's going to create more work. Look at that, and then up here, clean job. Anyway, those are two different techniques. I really suggest the first one. I really enjoyed making this for somebody who gives a shit, and trust me, now that this trick is in your bag, it's going to release you a little bit. You're not going to be worried about overly cropping. You'll be, I'm going to include the background and use this technique. The only trick with that is that the background should be evenly lit at first, or you should be prepared to lose the detail in the background that gives you the depth that sometimes pushes that photograph one small point further to brilliance. Thank you again for allowing me to do this for you, and I hope this works for you. I've babbled on for about 20 minutes. Loudmouth motherfucker. Thank you very much. This is Leon Dell, photographer from LDP Studios, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.